All right, what's up, y'all? Anderson Emerald here to talk about two meets that are going down this weekend. But this weekend we have three major meets. Friday the 16th, we're going to see the Doha Diamond League going down in Doha, Qatar. On Saturday, you're going to see the Adidas Atlanta City Games going down in Atlanta, Georgia. Of course, I'll actually be down there, kind of quick in and out trip. And then on Sunday, we're going to see the Seiko Golden Grand Prix going down in Tokyo, Japan. And all three have some high quality names, high quality athletes. We're likely going to see some high quality performances, but I want to talk about the Doha Diamond League and the Seiko Golden Grand Prix. Specifically in Tokyo, we're going to see Sha'Carri Richardson opening up her 2025 season, her first race since 2024 at the Diamond League final. So let's dive right in with Sha'Carri Richardson in Tokyo, running the 100 meters along with TT Terry and some other athletes as well. But like I noted, this is Sha'Carri's first race since 2024 at the Brussels Diamond League, where she finished kind of, down in the pack. Not a really great race for her. Prior to that, she did win the Zurich Diamond League, actually ahead of Julian Alfred in that race in the 100. And prior to that, she got the silver medal at the Olympic Games in Paris, just behind Julian Alfred there as well. She's coming off a season's best in 2024 of 10.71 seconds, which was the world lead. But now the question is, what is she going to be able to do in her season's opener for 2025? This, of course, has been highly anticipated because every other top sprinter on the women's side has opened up their season. Julian Alfred, Olympic champion. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, the GOAT of the women's 100. Sharika Jackson. You have TT Terry, Melissa Jefferson. Like, everyone across the board has already opened up their season. Daryl Nita, Dinasha Smith, like, everyone has been running. So Sha'Carri has been the only one. And if you look back a little bit in her career, you can actually see that she has opened up, maybe a little bit earlier, but around the same time or so. Last year, she opened up in, I don't know if this March one is correct, but at least individually, she's run the 200 down at the Chinese Diamond Leagues before dipping into the 100 in May. Then 2023, similar situation. She actually opened up in April, running the 4x1 down at Texas, and then also April 100 meters down in Miramar. Same thing in 2022, all the way back there. She opened up kind of in March, and then with a relay, and then in late May, she opened up in the 100. So, she's either opened up April or May or so. So now for the 100, it's, probably about the same, May 18th, but it'll be interesting to see how she actually does perform here. One thing to keep note is that she has the wild card to the World Championships in the 100 by way of being the defending world champion from 2023 in Budapest, that year where she won the gold. She ran 10.65 seconds, all that. So maybe that's a factor as to why she hasn't opened up her season yet, but who knows? I'm just glad that we get to see Sha'Carri on the track here in Tokyo. And my expectations, I would not be surprised if she opens up with sub 11. I think that's probably very realistic. Now, she could also run 11.0, 11.1. That wouldn't be too far-fetched. Again, she has a wild card to the World Championship, so there's no urgency for her to run very fast at this moment. But considering her talent, considering what she's capable of, and considering what she's done in the past, especially around this time of year, I think running sub 11 seconds is very likely. Now, I don't know if she's going to run 10.8 or 10.7 or anything like that. That would be amazing, and I wouldn't put it past her in terms of her abilities, but I'd probably predict around 10.9 something, right? I don't know if it's 10.99 or 10.90, who knows? But I think sub 11 is probably very likely for Sha'Carri. And the big thing is that hopefully she's just healthy. Hopefully she's able to execute. Hopefully she's able to work on her start, her execution in the first kind of 10 to 15 meters or so, which is probably the weaker part of her race. We know that she has some really strong top end speed, but we'll see how she actually does deliver when we get to Tokyo here. Her biggest competition, of course, is going to be TT Terry. TT Terry has already run 11.07 seconds as a season's best in 2025, but she's also run the 200 a bunch of times at the Chinese Diamond League. She's run the World Relays just last weekend. So TT Terry is in some very good form, and I'm excited to see her kind of make progress throughout this year. Now, let's circle back. I'm going to talk about just the men's 100 meters here, where we also have some high quality names. Christian Coleman going up against Christian Miller, PJ Austin, Jerome Blake, Hakeem Sani Brown. Like, this is a stacked field. Christian Coleman, he's coming off some decent results overall, where he got third place at the Tom Jones Memorial in the 100. He also got, I think, fourth place at the Xiamen Diamond League. He got fifth place at the Shanghai Diamond League. So on paper, you can look at it as he's going backwards in a sense, but the fields are all different. So it's tough to really compare a one-to-one on, is he actually getting, quote unquote, worse or so, or if he's kind of like working on things, if he's maintaining his progress, whatever it may be. This, of course, is his first full year, training with Dennis Mitchell down in Florida, moving away from his longtime coach, Tim Hall. So he's, of course, probably getting used to a new environment and all that. So I'm interested to see how he does perform here and kind of the trend of how his 100 meters has been going. Of course, his goal is to make the team team to the World Championships this year and to get on the podium at the Worlds in Tokyo, which he hasn't unfortunately done since 2019 when he was the gold medalist. He did make the final in 2022 and 2023, missed the team last year, but I don't know, we'll see. But Christian Coleman, he's going to be in this field. Christian Miller, he of course is a high school phenom. He just signed with Puma at the end of last year. He got 5th place at the Olympic trials last year, actually behind Noah, Kenny, Fred, and Christian. He has a best of 9.93 seconds. So Christian Miller is on one. He actually beat out Christian Coleman at the Tom Jones Memorial. He ran 10.03 seconds, I think it was, in the 100. So listen, this is exciting. This is exciting to see what Christian Miller is going to be able to do, traveling overseas for the first time as in a big kind of Continental Tour gold meeting. You have PJ Austin here. He's always been a mainstay, for the United States and in sprinting. Jerome Blake coming off of a Grand Slam track. He just came off the World Relays as well. Definitely keep a lookout for him. He ran 10 flat, I think, already this year. So I think it might have been slightly windy, but exciting to see what he's able to do. Hakeem Sonny Brown, he's one who I think has so much potential, kind of really untapped potential, for an athlete who's still pretty young, right? He's 26 years old, I think he'll be turning this year. So, he still has some time to go. And then the other Japanese sprinters, you have Yoshida, you have Yuki. Like, these guys are part of that 4x1 who, they qualified to the World Champs this year. So we'll see how that does actually play out. Now, a couple other races that we have. Men's 200, Andre DeGrasse, Robert Gregory. Andre coming off of World Relays and also come off of Grand Slam track. He, of course, takes some time to get going through the season. But if history is any indication, he's going to be a force to not mess around with. Robert Gregory, he's been someone who I guess gotten lost in a sauce a bit, where 2023 at the US trials, he finished 5th place running 19.90 seconds behind Ariane Knighton and Kenny B and Fred Curley and Courtney Lindsay and all them. But, we'll see if he's kind of able to pick things back up. Excited to see what he's able to do here. You also have the men's 400, and this is an interesting story with Emmanuel Mabadelli. He competed for Florida, just like Robert Gregory. 2023, he was, I forget if he was the NCAA champion or if he finished 2nd place to Ryan Willie. Someone could fact check me in the comments, but he is going to be competing in the 400 here, not representing Nigeria, which was his country. He's representing, or looks like he's transferring allegiance to the United Arab Emirates, to the UAE. Now, the process isn't solidified yet, and from my understanding, it's been in the works since 2019. But we'll see if he actually is able to get that transfer of allegiance, fully finalized. He's never represented Nigeria internationally, so I think that's a good sign. Maybe we'll see him. 44.24 personal best, again, from back in 2023. He's going to be one to look out for. A couple others that I do want to highlight here. You have the men's 110 meter hurdles. Dylan Beard coming off a Grand Slam track. He's been very consistent this year. Excited to see what he's able to do as 2025 progresses. The other athlete that I'm looking out for here is Rachid Moritake from Japan. He has a Japanese national record of 13.04 seconds, which he shares with Izumiya, who's probably been the more consistent hurdler for Japan over the past couple of years. But Moritake, he's only 23 years old, I think, this year. He's still extremely young and he's still rising. He got 5th place at the Olympic Games last year in the final. He's one that I would not be surprised to see break the 13-second barrier this year and maybe really challenge for a podium spot. Just because he's Japanese, maybe doesn't get as much spotlight or attention, don't sleep on Moritake. He's one that I have my eye on. So similar to Izumiya, he's probably been the more experienced Japanese hurdler over the past couple of years, but I'm looking forward to Moritake and what he's able to do. Trevor Bassett, shout out to him in the 400 hurdles, coming off a Grand Slam track in Miami as well. Just signed a professional deal with Adidas. Excited to see, how he progresses. He's made every single team dating back to 2022 for the United States in the hurdles, so he's going to be a force to reckon with here. And then, of course, you have a couple athletes in the high jump and the long jump. Brandon Stark, representing Australia, always one in the conversation. And then finally here, Javon Harrison in the long jump. This is going to be Javon Harrison's first long jump competition since March of 2024, I think it is. He's been focusing in on the high jump for the most part over the past year. He made it to the Olympic Games, of course, last year, but back when he was at LSU, he was a double threat in the long jump and the high jump. He's competed at both, I think, at the Tokyo Olympics in the long jump and the high jump. So Javon Harrison is an extremely talented athlete. He's dealt with some setbacks that have prevented him from really hitting those, long marks in long jump and high marks in the high jump that he has in the past, but he is one to definitely look out for. He also now trains with Raina Ryder. He's left LSU, so interesting to see in his first full year in Florida with Raina Ryder how things kind of progress for him. He was just actually at the What Gravity Challenge. He finished, unfortunately, 9th place, but exciting to see him. Also, like I was mentioning, Izumiya for Japan. He's here in the long jump. He has a best of 8.21 meters. He is he's a double threat, long jumper and hurdler. I'm excited to see how he balances both this year. If he does choose to maybe focus a little more on the long jump, or if he does, focus on both hurdles and long jump. They're both competitive, so we'll see. But excited to see how that goes. Again, I ran through the list pretty quickly. Wanted to make sure I can cover the Doha Diamond League now as well. But that's the Seiko Golden Grand Prix going down in Tokyo, Japan on Sunday the 18th. So definitely be sure to check that out. Let's move over to the Doha Diamond League. I already did a full preview for Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, so check out that video in terms of her running the 100 here. She, of course, has already opened up her season running 10.9, a little bit windy down in Jamaica, but she's also just recently run at the World Relays, 2 legs, both the heats and the finals on the second leg. She's in some great form. She's in great form considering what she's gone through the past couple years with injury. I'm excited to see what Shelly-Ann is able to do here. But Jamaica has taken over this women's 100. You're talking about Tia Clayton, right, in the 100 here. She just ran the heats of the 4x1 for Jamaica. Someone told me, shout out to you on the comments, someone said that she dealt with a little bit of pain or a little bit of a setback that prevented her from actually running the 4x1 finals. But hopefully she's all good and she competes here. Tina Clayton, coming off running the heats and the finals at the World Relays for the 4x1. She, of course, on paper was the better of the twins when they were, rising and getting older and were growing up and stuff like that. She, of course, is a U20 world champion. But, Tia kind of took that mantle this last year, making the Olympic final and all that. So Tina, they're both going to be, really ones to look out for here. Natasha Morrison, she's been a mainstay for Jamaica for the better part of a decade at this point. But then the rest of the field, you have Mujiga Kumbuji coming off a gold medal indoors in the 60 meters. She's going to be one to really look out for. You have Amy Hunt, who I think is probably obviously the next generation for British sprinting, but one of the, strong sprinters to look out for in the years to come. She actually really gave Shelly-Ann a run for her money on that second leg. You can argue that Amy Hunt might have run better than Shelly-Ann on that second leg, right? Split masters, y'all can probably, fact check me, but Amy Hunt is one to not sleep on. Zoe Hobbs, she's always been in the mix, made the semifinals at the Olympic Games last year. Definitely keep a lookout for her. And then Patricia van der Weeken, she, of course, had done really well indoors in the 60 meters. So women's 100 is very stacked. 2 other races I'm looking forward to. Men's 200. Men's 200, this is going to be the second race for Letsile in the 200, but his first major competitive race in the 200 this year. He did run 20.23 seconds at the Botswana Golden or Continental Tour meeting at home, but this is going to be competitive because he has Courtney Lindsay, who last year in Kenya, both of them went toe-to-toe, head-to-head at the Kip Keino Classic. They ran 19.71 seconds. That's a personal best for Courtney Lindsay. He beat out Letsile in that race. Letsile, of course, went on to win the gold medal at the Olympic Games, but he's going to be in this race. Kyrie King, he's going to be in this race, right? People sleep on Kyrie King, but he has been very consistent. He low-key has been in the mix in the 100 and the 200 for the United States. He made the World Championship team in 2017 to London, I think that year as well. So Kyrie King, don't sleep on his capabilities. Joseph Fambele, he's made every single Olympic and world final in the 200 since 2021. That's consistency. Aaron Brown, he's been a mainstay, making multiple finals at the Olympics and the World Championships, having his first games back in 2012. Like, he's there. You also have Sean Maswangani, got a medal on the 4x1 for South Africa at the Olympics last year, that silver medal. So this field is very stacked. I think that Letsile is probably going to be able to break 20 seconds, considering he ran that 20.23 seconds like jogging. He was chilling at the end of the line. So we'll see, but he's going to have some competition. He's going to have some competition. I don't know if he's going to win. I don't know if he's going to break 20, but I'm just interested to see how his progression goes. His goal is the World Championships at the end of the year. All these other guys, except for so not all these other guys, but Courtney Lindsay, Kyrie King, right? They have to qualify for the World Championships. Aaron Brown, he's probably going to be there for Canada. Joseph Fambele, he's going to be there. But Letsile is thinking long term and coming off the gold medal at the Olympic Games last year. Like, he is focused. So let's see what Letsile is able to do. The other race that I'm excited for, sleeper race here, women's 400. Who do we see on the start list? Sawaid Nasser. Shout out to Sawaid Nasser coming off season's best of 48.67 seconds, which is her third fastest performance of all time. Of course, behind her 48.14, her personal best, number 3 all time from back in Doha 2019. And then also last year at the Olympics, when she got silver behind Paulino, she ran 48.5. So Nasser right now, 48.67 seconds. She also ran 48.9 earlier in the year. She's on fire. She's on fire. And even though she lost to Paulino at Grand Slam in Miami, she ran 49.3. So listen, Nasser is in some very good form. I don't know what to expect from her when talking about this 400 here. I'm not going to say she's going to run 48 seconds, but listen, I wouldn't put it past her because she is one of the more talented athletes. I'm excited to see how this plays out. I have a video coming out about the head-to-head and the competition between Nasser and Paulino. This is one for the ages, but stay tuned for that next week. Also, Amber Anning coming off Grand Slam. She didn't do as well in Miami. She's just, getting her footing going as a pro, coming off the World Indoor Championship gold medal, but excited to see how she kind of does progress throughout 2025. Of course, she got 5th place at the Olympic Games last year. She is a huge talent. Natalia Bukovica, I apologize for the pronunciation. Of course, this is formerly Natalia Kazmarek. She got the bronze medal at the Olympic Games last year in the 400 behind Paulino and Nasser. She also ran 48 seconds on 3 different occasions last year. She just split 49.3 seconds, I think, at the World Relays, for Poland. So she is in some great form. Great form. You also have Lieke Klaver, who is opening up her 2025 outdoor season. She got the gold medal at the European Indoor Championships this year as well. So she's going to be, one to look out for. You also have Nielsen and Sade Williams, right? Both of them have been some consistent 400 runners. Shafiko Maloney is dropping down from the 800 into the 400. So this is a very, very competitive field that I'm excited to see how the women play out here. Now, to finish off with just some other fields, you do have the men's 110 hurdles. We're not going to see Grant Holloway, unfortunately. He's been dealing with some injuries. He also pulled out of the Adidas Atlanta City Games, but hopefully he gets healthy. Check out Ready, Set, Go. Justin and Rodney, they did an amazing interview with Grant Holloway. Excited to see what 2026 looks like. We're going to see, but this is a stacked field. You're talking about Jamal Britt, Rashid Broadbell coming off that bronze medal at the Olympics. Don't sleep on Broadbell. He's coming. Daniel Roberts. And then Simonelli is one of the guys who you do not want to sleep on. He is young. He is rising. He is going to be a mainstay when talking about the hurdles. And I'm excited. He's going to be in Grand Slam track in Philly as a challenger, along with Trey Cunningham, along with Cordell Tinch. And then with the racers, Daniel Roberts is going to be there. Freddie Crittenden is going to be there. Sasha Zoya is going to be there, right? Like, he's in this mix now. It's going to be exciting to see. But shout out to Jamal Britt, Rashid Broadbell. You also have Martinez. You have Lopez, right? Like, this is a strong field for the men's 110-meter hurdles. I'm excited to see how that plays out. But last 2 competitions that I am very excited for, the women's triple jump. I just did a full breakdown of the athletes to look out for, both on the men's and the women's side in the triple jump. You have Thea LaFond here. She's opening up her season in the triple jump. She already jumped indoors at the World Indoor Champs. She finished 4th place, coming off of surgery, at the end of 2024 after winning Olympic gold. Do not sleep on what she's capable of. Shanika Ricketts, she is undefeated in 2 competitions this year, one in Jamaica and then also one at the Penn Relays. She's going to be one, coming off the silver medal at the Olympic Games last year. And then you have Ivana Spanovic. She is competing in the triple jump here. We know her as, one of the greatest long jumpers over the past, generation, right? 10 years or so, where she's a world champion. She's gotten gold medals. Like, she's jumped very far. But now in the triple jump, she has some triple jump marks, right? Best of 14.24 meters, but she actually announced, I think, that she's going to be very consistent this year in the triple jump. So I'm excited. The fact that she's in Doha, listen, shout out to Ivana. I'm excited to see what she's able to do. Don't forget, someone like Marina Beck-Romanchuk used to be a long jumper, a medalist in the long jump, switched over and got very consistent and became a 15-meter jumper. So I don't know. Can Ivana do the same? Listen, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Now, final competition that I am excited for is the men's high jump. Most of these guys are coming off the What Gravity Challenge that also happened in Doha just last weekend. So we're going to see all these guys turning back, right? Hamish Kerr got the gold medal for New Zealand last year in Paris. Shelby McEwen got the silver medal, at the Olympic Games last year in Paris. I want to discuss one day, is Mutaz Essa Barshim, where does he fall in terms of all-time greats in the high jump? Looking at his career, I don't think he's a GOAT, right? I think that GOAT is still a whole other thing. But when you're talking about 4 Olympic medals, one of them being gold, and then 3 gold medals at the World Championships. We gonna break this down one day. And number 2 all time with the 2.43. Come on, we gonna break that down one day. But Barshim is gonna be here. He did pull out of the What Gravity Challenge, so hopefully he's healthy. We'll see. Hopefully he competes here. But then you have Romain Beckford, right, coming off the NCAA last year. He's in some good form. You have Raymond Richards, who's been in some excellent form in 2025 already. So this is a very, very good field in the men's high jump. You got a couple other fields as well, but these are the main ones that I'm looking forward to. Again, this was the Doha Diamond League. Also spoke about the Seiko Golden Grand Prix. I'm excited to see both competitions. Again, Sha'Carri Richardson opening up her 2025 season. We've seen everyone else open up. This is going to be her first race of the year. What is she going to be able to produce? On the women's side, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. She, of course, has been running very well already, dealing with injuries in the past years, but now she's back, looks to be healthy. What is she going to be able to do? All these other fields, Letsile Taboho, Christian Coleman, Christian Milt, these are going to be some competitive fields between Tokyo and Doha. Let me know what you think. What are you excited to see, in these competitions? Again, I'm going to be talking about the Adidas Atlantic City Games probably tomorrow, but stay tuned for that. Be sure to like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Truly always do appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching.